Hey guys, welcome back to Retro Piece Theater. Retro here on GNN_gaming, presented to you on the Geek News Now network. For all of your wonderful Geek News Now, be sure to head on over to geeknewsnow.net. No fluff, no clickbait, no any of that terrible, rumor articles. No, we report the facts and we tell you why it's important and why you should care. Awesome stuff written by geeks for geeks. It's geeknewsnow.net. Also, be sure to go on over to our Facebook page, geeknewsnow.net, and be sure to check out all of our awesome promotions, including an amazing contest that we have going on. You go to our YouTube page, look up Geek News Now on YouTube, and you will find interviews and live panels and awesome streams and things to be a part of, and ways that you as the fans can even get involved. We talk about the franchises that you love, from Marvel to DC to Star Wars to comic books to video games, you name it, we cover it in the geek world. So, tonight I am doing Pokemon Gold. Pokemon Gold. Yay, Pokemon Gold. We just finished Pokemon Blue last week. And just before this stream, I completed a Pokemon Snap 100% Pokemon Snap run on the N64. And now we're doing Pokemon Gold. Pokemon Gold was decided by you guys watching in the stream chat. I put out there, hey, Pokemon Gold and why? And I got a reason, so here we are. So let's jump in. I'll set a few options first. Text speed fast, battle scene off. Okay. New game. So I'm going to mis-set the time on this. I'm not going to set it to the actual time I'm in. I'm going to mis-set the time to 4 o'clock, because what that will do is at 6 o'clock in game time it will change over to night, and at nighttime different Pokemon show up. So this will give part of my stream in the day, part of my stream in the evening in the game, because there is that time component. So Pokemon Gold and Silver came out after Pokemon Blue. Now, I will admit, I do not know Gold and Silver as well as I know Red, Blue, and Yellow. I know those games backwards, forwards, and sideways. However, I do know... So this is going to be... I haven't speedrun this. I haven't run this game in a very long time. So there's going to be sections I don't remember, don't know. That's just how it's going to be. So we'll figure it out together. But I do know that at the beginning here, and for about the next 20-30 minutes or so, I'm going to be doing a glitch. And it takes that long to do, unfortunately. Where I'm going to get all 3 starters. What day is it? This I can set. Today is Thursday. She gives us the phone to use, but I'm almost never going to use it. Alright, so right here, I'm going to save. Because that's not what I wanted. Save. So what happens now is this is the beginning of the glitch. Before you get any Pokemon at all, right here we have to save. And it doesn't matter which one I get first. We'll get Cyndaquil first. Ultimately, the one I'm going to be using for the first gym leader will be Totodile, because Totodile learns Rage as his first move. And it's a extremely overpowered move, and very useful against the first gym leader, which is Falkner, who has Bird type. So if you played this before, you're going to recognize the first part of what I'm doing here. I'm just I'm playing through. I have to play through the first like introductory section a total of 2 times. Well, really 3 times. But I have to get to a certain point to do the glitch. So I see we've got a few people in the chat. Don't be shy. Be sure to say hi. There's really not much to talk about what's going on here at the beginning. Just like in Pokemon Blue and Red and Yellow, where we have to go up north to the Pokemon Mart, we get the Oaks parcel, and then we have to bring it all the way back to him, and then we can go and get, you know, on with what we're doing. Same thing here. Wolf's Angel in the chat. Yay, Cyndaquil! I actually like Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil was my first... When I got Silver. Silver was the one I had. My best friend had Gold. When this first came out. And Cyndaquil was who I chose. I tend to gravitate towards the fire types because I just... 1, I think a lot of times they look cooler. And 2, I think they're... they have a higher... They can have a higher attack stat. But Cyndaquil will be who we're using second. So yeah, for the first gym leader, I'm going to do a safety heal. I shouldn't need it, but... I love the fire-type Pokemon. Me, too. I think if I wasn't going to be an EV trainer and were Pokemon real, I would be a fire-type. For those of you who don't know, I have a background as a stage performer, both in theater and for well over a decade as a magician and illusionist. And with that, I did fire eating, fire breathing, I did a little bit with fire poi, but not much. And I would do human body stunts and escapes. So, you know, handcuffs, chains, put me in a bag, or hang me by my ankles in a straitjacket. Depending on where you look for videos of me online, you'll find footage. A real life Blaine. Are you talking about the gym leader? Yes. Yeah, Blaine. So Blaine was the fire-type gym leader in Red, Blue, and Yellow. Yeah, and you find out later if you play the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, it expands on that he was also like a stage performer. So I suppose so. I'd like to think I'm maybe a little better looking, but or at least I have more hair than he does. Probably because I haven't burned it all off yet. When I do fire eating and fire breathing, though, this all tends to go away. Or it will go away on its own. But I haven't done that. Last time I did that live was 2017. So it's been about 4 years since I've done it live. I had to quit doing it for a while. Because you can use a lot of things as fuel. The safest would be like a 140 proof alcohol. But that will also get you intoxicated and or cause alcohol poisoning if you're not careful. But alcohol is extremely flammable. Oh, there's a potion here. I don't think I'll need it, but... my fuel of choice for fire eating was Coleman white gas, and the fuel I used for fire breathing was Kingsford charcoal starter. That's what I was putting into my mouth and into my body. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys the story, probably because nothing interesting is happening on screen. I'm not to the point where I can do the first part of the glitch yet. Fire eating, fire breathing is extremely dangerous. It has almost killed me 3 times. Got really close once. Because when you do it, and this is not to encourage anybody to do it, in fact, the thing is to discourage people from being me. I was rehearsing on stage. It was in a darkened theater because we were getting ready to go on in about 20 minutes. So everything was closed. People were lined up outside the theater. I'm on stage just doing a quick run through of my routine to the music. And I go to put the torch in my mouth, and when I would hold my breath. I was not breathing. Honestly, I used to be able to hold my breath for several minutes, better part of 3 minutes straight. Because during my fire eating and fire breathing routine, I would either not breathe or breathe outwards, depending on what's appropriate. I took all of my breaths in when there was no fire anywhere near my mouth. Well, I was going to put the torch in my mouth, and I had spilled some fluid on the floor, and I had stepped down, the theater was dark, and I slipped while the torch was in my mouth. And I took a sharp breath in, and it more or less ignited the oxygen in my lungs. I was incapable of breathing and collapsed and hit the floor and was no longer breathing. And part of the reason I wasn't breathing was I fell face first and my head was down, so my neck was compressed. Thankfully, almost immediately, the person who was my assistant at the time found me and rolled me over. And when she did, I was able to get air and start breathing again. But it was a scary moment because I remember blacking out completely as I went down to the floor. And the next thing I know, I'm rolling over and breathing. And we went on to do the show still. Because that's what you do. Show must go on. Not my overall proudest moment. But it doesn't matter if I win or lose this battle. I'm going to lose it. That's fine. You'll see why it doesn't matter here in a minute. Because we're essentially going to pretend like this battle didn't happen. So yeah, that's one of the many dangerous stories of fire eating and fire breathing that I have tucked away in my noggin. Moral of the story, don't do it. You'll live longer. And then I had some liver issues at one point because of the fuel, causing toxicity in my liver, because it wasn't something that the body was supposed to be able to naturally process, was that fuel. So I had some liver issues for a little bit. So yeah, I had to, when you look at, if you read stories about people who did, carnies, who did, it doesn't matter what I name him right now. If you read stories about carnies who did fire eating, fire breathing back in the day, they could only do it for so long because they were doing it every single day, and that fuel, whatever you're using as fuel, even if it's alcohol, will destroy your liver. And then they would have to take a year off of doing it and do something else inside the circus to let their liver heal and repair itself before they could go back to doing it again. So I rambled on about all of that. You didn't miss anything if you weren't paying attention to the stream. Basically, we got a mysterious egg from Professor Oak and Professor Elm, and now we're back here, and now we just got Pokeballs. So now I can finally do the first part of this glitch. So here's what happens. This guy's gonna come up and try to teach us how to do it. I'm going to say no, because I already know how. Now what I need to do right here is I need to catch a Pokemon. Any Pokemon. It doesn't matter which one. For this glitch. Just whatever I happen to catch between now and the Pokemon Center. And the glitch that I'm doing, you can actually do this infinitely. And you can do this to duplicate items as well, because in Pokemon Gold and Silver, the mechanic was introduced where you could have a Pokemon hold an item. So when you duplicate the Pokemon holding the item, you duplicate the item they're holding as well. So it's a way to get infinite whatever, effectively. Probably one of the most beneficial, aside from the obvious of like a Master Ball or a rare candy, probably the most beneficial use of that is if you get a nugget, because you can sell those for 5,000 Pokédollars, or whatever the currency is. I don't even know what the official currency is here. You can sell that for 5,000 Pokédollars each, but if you can just duplicate it and effectively get infinite money from just one golden nugget. It says I have people watching. Are any of you in the chat? Talk to me! I'm just rambling. Alright, so now we do the first part of this glitch. And I'm going to focus for a minute because the timing of it is crucial. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do and then I'm going to do it. So you have to have 2 Pokemon to do this in the beginning. We're going to deposit the one we want to duplicate, basically. You have to have a second Pokemon because if you only have one Pokemon in your party, you can't be left without any Pokemon. So you have to have one in your party to put one away. When we change box, it's going to prompt us to save. And I have to restart this when it does, while it's saving. Right there. Now, I can't find out right away if it worked. But we're right back here where we took our initial save. So I do know that it has likely worked at that point. Because if it registered that save, I would be starting in the Pokemon Center, not back here. So now I have to do that whole first part all the way over again. All the way back to catching a Pokemon, doing the save glitch, coming back, and then doing it a third time to get the Totodile. Or whatever the third one I feel like getting is. So we'll get Chikorita, because I'm going to get Totodile last. And I can't make any other saves during this process or else I'll overwrite the glitch that's happening the way it's being done. But effectively, that level 6 Cyndaquil I had is now in the box at the Pokemon Center. And I'll double check it once I get to the Pokemon Center. I can verify it's there. And we're going to leave it in there. We're not going to take it out. But the whole trainer battle, naming your rival, all of that, none of that has actually, as far as the game is concerned, none of that's actually taken place. But there is a mysterious Cyndaquil sitting in a Pokemon box. That's it. The game doesn't know the difference. So we'll have to go through the process of battling the rival all over again and giving him a name. That's why I didn't care whether I won or lost, and that's why I didn't care what his name was then. So if you're in the chat, if you're watching and actually you want to help me out here, give me a rival name, something family-friendly, please. Give me a rival name, that I'll ultimately use in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to double check and make sure it worked. Yep, there he is. Cool. And that's it. That's how you do the glitch. So I am going to do it again. Once I get after I do it this next time, once I get Totodile, then I'll actually come back, take them out, and play through and finish it out. Man, I'm getting all the random encounters on this one. So now we need to do the same thing that we did a few minutes ago. Excuse me. I get more comfortable in my chair here. Do the same thing that I did a few minutes ago, where I just need to catch a random Pokemon, any rando, and do the same duplication glitch. And then we can actually get on with playing the game. But it's worth it, because otherwise you would have to trade or use a Game Genie to get the Pokemon. So it's worth taking the time to do this, I think. And it is possible to do the glitch in Pokemon Crystal, but the timing of when you have to reset the cartridge is different. And I've tried it, but I haven't been able to get it consistently. But Gold and Silver I can get pretty consistently. That's the reason. Honestly, that's the whole reason I gave everybody the option of Gold or Silver and not doing Crystal. Because Crystal actually has a slightly different storyline and a slightly different ending to the game than Gold or Silver. Even though it is, 85% the same game. Purely the reason I'm doing Gold or Silver is because of this glitch. That's it. And now I'm just going to run away from every fight because there's no reason to get into a battle. Not really. We just want to make sure that we are at the very minimum level 8 with our Totodile before we go to deal with the first gym leader. 9 would be preferred, and I think 9 is doable. Okay, same thing here. Deposit Chikorita. There we go. And if it worked, I should be back at the beginning in front of, yep, cool. Alright, now I can get Totodile. And that's the last time I have to do that glitch. Now when I go to the Pokemon Center, both of those Pokemon will be in a box, and I can take them out, and I've got all 3 starters. That's it. It's not hard. The timing on this one is as soon as it asks you, as soon as it says, it'll tell you that it's going to change boxes and that it's going to save the game. You say yes, and then it will say a save file already exists. Do you want to overwrite? You hit yes, and then you have to restart it before the word saving, or you have it's like a 4 or 5 frame thing. You have to hit the words. You have to restart it on saving, and that's when you restart it, and it will do a mix of what it does, where it registers the Pokemon as in the box, but it registers your save file as being back at the beginning. And so, yeah. So now now that I'm done with it, when I go to the Pokemon box here in just a few minutes, they'll both be in there. Haunter35 in the chat. Welcome back, Haunter. Thank you for joining. If you are just now joining me, then you missed the first 30 minutes of this where I did the duplication glitch. That's all you've missed. Effectively, I'm still back at the very, very beginning. So now Totodile, I don't want to lose any fights with him. I want to use from now on. We're playing for keeps. And Haunter, since you're in the chat and nobody else has volunteered a name, I'm gonna need a rival name here in just a few minutes. And if you don't help me pick one, I'm just gonna name him Haunter, because why not? So if you got a rival name, I'm gonna need it here in about 5 minutes. Yeah, do not save after you, yeah, don't save until after you've checked your Pokemon box to make sure the other two are in there. Because if not, then you can redo the glitch and do it right. But once you save, like I'm going to save, because I've got all three of them, I'm going to do a save now. Once you save, you can't go back and do that same glitch. Because now my save will take me past the point where I would be able to get that Pokemon. Haunter says, Dr. Disrespect because he is my rival, even though I've never met him. Dr. Disrespect. Is he still on Twitch, or is he banned from Twitch still? I don't remember if he's still around. I mean, I know he's still around. I know he's still streaming stuff. I just don't know what platform he's on anymore. Because I remember there was this whole thing with him and Twitch, but honestly, I kind of abhor drama. So I haven't stayed up to date with what's happening with what streamer at any given point. He's on YouTube full-time now. Yeah, I remember there was an issue with him and Twitch, and he left Twitch. I don't know. Twitch, don't get mad at me. I'm just saying I have no idea what happened. And I'm not going to get into it because we're a Twitch affiliate, so we're just going to say thank you, Twitch, and go on. And there's a lot of gamers that are on YouTube full time. I mean, Game Grumps are another ones. They never went into Twitch. When Ross O'Donovan, Rubber Ross Ninja, when he left the Game Grumps group, he was on Twitch. I think he's still on Twitch for a while. But Game Grumps, they've stayed as a YouTube channel, and they've made it work. A lot of people have. I just said his name on Twitch to spite Business Daddy. Haunter, why are you starting trouble? There's probably some algorithm built into Twitch right now that's like watching this channel super closely. What do they say? What are they saying? Hi, Twitch. It's kind of like whenever you search for something on Google and then it shows up as an ad on Facebook. You know, or you're just thinking about something and it shows up as an ad on Facebook. They are listening. They are out there. I'm deliberately going through the tall grass on my way back because every little bit of experience I can get, my Totodile is going to be useful. Because as long as I can win the rival fight, he'll go up to level 7 or level 8, respectively. And I want at least level 8. There's way more strategy that goes into these games than I think people who don't play Pokemon realize. I mean, it is an RPG. Flat out, it's an RPG. And just like any other RPG, you've got characters you've got to build, you've got strategies, you've got a team you've got to think about, you've got, you know, in lieu of, you know, other games like Final Fantasy where you have to think about how your team is going to be equipped, here you've got to think about the move set because Pokemon only get 4 moves. So you got to think about who knows what and how and what are you going against and what's going to be appropriate for this area. And it's, you know, this game may have a target appeal of kids, quote unquote. This is really pretty advanced stuff if you really dive into it. And I think it's safe to say, if I'm being honest, I think it's safe to say that the anime is definitely geared towards kids. The movies definitely have more of a kid appeal. But I gotta say, I own quite a few of the movies because, again, I have children. But, I mean, they're major nostalgia fuel for me. And if you haven't guessed, the whole retro piece theater thing is, I'm kind of all about that nostalgia fuel. Somebody asked me today what the whole thing with retro piece theater is. I'll tell you. Officially, I'll say it out loud right here on Twitch. Retro piece theater. So I grew up watching a lot of BBC television, Doctor Who, and Blackadder, a bit of Fry and Laurie, Monty Python. And there was a BBC show that came on PBS called Masterpiece Theater. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of the gentleman who would host it, but it was always the same gentleman. And welcome to Masterpiece Theater. I am your host. And then he would talk about, and tonight we're going to be looking at One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And then you would see a made-for-TV production, like movie-type production, of a famous book or story or something. It would be a theater production of a play, a piece of literature. And I remember watching that and really enjoying it. And I didn't see it often, but it came on. It was on. I mean, it was on BBC TV in the 70s and 80s, and it was on PBS in the US in the 80s and 90s. And so when I was thinking about doing a YouTube channel, which is how I started originally, I knew I wanted to run retro games because that's primarily what I own is retro games. So, stick with what you know. And it was also this attitude of, everybody is, see if I can get disrespect on there. I won't. Just, you don't get as many letters as you get in, like, later games. Disrespect. There we go. Like a license plate. So I knew what it was going to be, and it was like, okay, retro games. And for some reason, just retro piece theater made sense. And that's what it became. And the opening that you see at the beginning of my feed, Alistair Cook. Thank you, Hunter. Alistair Cook. Hello, I'm Alistair Cook. And tonight on Retro Piece Theater, and he had this wonderful, smooth voice, and it'd be him in this nice suit, like almost looking like traditional, like, I mean, it was 70s fashion, so you had the sport coat with the shirt and tie, and very formal professor look that you have in the 70s. And he'd be sitting at this big oak desk and books and everything around. And even the opening to my channel, if you watch the when my channel first starts, go back and watch any of my videos. You'll hear the song is Vivaldi's Four Seasons, Autumn. You'll hear that playing, and I took the camera and panned over a bunch of my retro games and stuff, and did it in the way that the original Masterpiece Theater was, where it would go down this like row of books, and you would see all these master's books, master collection books and things, and it was going through this library with all these different, a globe and busts of famous authors and things. So it was an effort. It was a poor man's effort to emulate that, right down to. Hello and welcome to Retro Piece Theater. So I'm waiting for the right smoking jacket, and then I'm actually going to be recording a whole new opener. It's going to be fun. I've had the idea for years. Because Retro Piece Theater started almost 4 years ago now. And I never even considered bringing it to Twitch, and I want to thank Geek News Now and GNN Gaming for letting me kind of be me and be what my show was, and bring it over and bring that to you guys, and kind of merge the two together. It's fun. It's a good time. We're going to heal. Alright. So now I'm back at the same place I've been this whole time. I don't have to restart now. I can actually go forward and play the game. So we're going to stop in the mart over here. We'll do a couple trainer battles. There's Same thing with blue. I'm going to skip a few, but I'm not going to skip as many as I did in blue because I don't. With blue, I was much more comfortable with who had what, where, when, why, and how. And I'm not as comfortable in this game as I was with blue. So I'm going to play it a little more safe and get into more trainer battles than I did. We're going to get a few more of these. And I'm going to get some antidotes. And we're going to save. So for the next, until the gym leader, which is about as far as I think I'm going to get tonight. I'm probably going to get to the next town and get to probably beat Falconer, the next gym leader. That's probably about as far as I'm going to be able to get tonight. I definitely will not reach the second gym leader, Whitney. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to worry about catching other Pokemon right now. I'm going to worry about getting him leveled up because I have my 2 other starters. It's not like he's the only one I have. So should he get knocked out, it's not the end of the world. I have a fire type and a grass type in my party. This was something else that was new. Fruit-bearing trees were put into Pokemon Gold and Silver. There's also apricots, and apricots can be turned into different types of Pokeballs. I am going to skip this trainer, and we're going to deal with this trainer, because I can't avoid him. If I weren't doing the that duplication glitch at the beginning, I would have run Heart Gold instead of regular Gold, only because I would have the running shoes already. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you get them almost immediately after you get the ability to get Pokeballs. There's an old man in town. I skipped him here because if I talk to him in this, he just gives me a map card, and I don't need a map card. But in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, he gives you, I'm gonna call Mom because otherwise she'll call me. That's not what I wanted her to do. Don't want her to save money. It's, oh, come on. I keep hitting A through it. Keep calling her back. Stop saving it. Okay, there we go. Now. So you can have all of your trainer money and stuff go to her. Or a portion of it, rather. So I guess if you're bad with money in video games, that would be the thing to do. But then you have to like physically go see her to get your money. And until you get Fly, that's just not a reasonable thing to do. There we go. Now I can start catching stuff and not worrying so much about his level. And you can tell there's a major shift in art style too, because this came out for the Game Boy Color, which I have my Game Boy Color over there on the shelf. I would hold it up and show it to you, but it would disappear because it's green, and I have a green screen behind me. But it's yeah. This was made for the Game Boy Color, and the Game Boy Color had a little bit more processing power and better, a better screen and graphics. So, we got better details on the sprites, and we got better details in the colors. There were more color options available, so it just all around was like almost like upgrading from a regular Nintendo to a Super Nintendo. Not quite the same, but you get the idea. I did not want to knock that out. I actually wanted that. That's okay. There'll be others. I'm going to see if I can catch a Bellsprout real quick, and I'm going to put Cyndaquil in to get him some experience too, because after I finish with Totodile for the next gym leader, I'm going to beef up Cyndaquil, then use him for Whitney. But Faulkner, the first one, is bird type, and right now I have nothing super effective against bird type, but Chikorita is going to be weak against bird type because he's grass. And I don't want to stick that against the first gym leader, bird type. So, yeah, in this one, if you take Chikorita as your starter, you're going against... you're going to get your butt kicked, basically. If you don't level him up considerably. And get something else that can fight better against. But if you notice what we've seen Pokemon-wise, we've seen a couple... Centrets, but mostly we've seen bug-type and grass-type Pokemon thus far. Caterpies, Metapods, Bellsprout. So, everything you could catch up to this point would be weak to the bird type. So they put something in to help you. And you need a Bellsprout for it. And I'm going to do it just because. I don't need it, but I'm going to do it just because. Mostly to show anybody who's playing this that didn't know. If I don't find a Bellsprout here in a few minutes, it's no big deal. Essentially, there's somebody who will trade you an Onix for your Bellsprout. An Onix being rock type will be useful in lieu of other options that you have up to this point, if all you have is a Chikorita. And I firmly believe that's the sole reason he's there. I might catch this Pidgey. There was a thing you could do in Gen 1 in blue and red where if you hit down and B simultaneously, at the right time when you threw a Pokeball, it was I think, a guaranteed or almost guaranteed catch. And they fixed that in all future generations of the game. Like in red and blue, if you hit it, I think it was right as the Pokeball opens after it lands, it would be an automatic catch. If that Pokeball was one that could catch it, like you weren't going to be able to do a regular Pokeball on Mewtwo and have that work because Mewtwo could only be caught with a Master Ball. Alright, if I don't get another Bellsprout here in a moment, I'm just going to go on. Alright, I'll try one more, and if I don't get it, then I'll go ahead and get out of here. We'll just go into town and we'll take care of it. Because I don't need the Onix. I was just going to show them to everybody. Yeah. Alright, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, what's nice about the move that he learns, Rage, is it is a move that stacks. So you do it, you do damage. But then, whatever damage he takes while in Rage mode, I believe it doubles his attack the next turn. So, and that happens each time. So it becomes this damage stacking move that you get. It's super overpowered this early in the game, but it's the most effective way to deal with Falkner. Yeah, see, it says my Pokedex is only 3. Because that's actually what I've caught. It doesn't register Cyndaquil and Chikorita. Because I didn't catch them. I got them pre-Pokedex and in the manner. So, but when they evolve, I'll get those. But it won't register Chikorita and Cyndaquil. So if I want the Pokedex to register those, I will have to later on take them with a Ditto to the breeder and breed a Cyndaquil or Chikorita. Otherwise, it won't register ever that Cyndaquil and Chikorita are ones that I have. So we just keep using Rage. Rage is building. Yeah, and now it just damage stacks. All I have to do is survive. That's it. And the thing, too, is as long as I don't change him out, it will continue stacking even if he puts other Pokemon in. So yeah, it's super overpowered. Which, you know, good for me, bad for them. Haunter in the chat says, almost there. What are you referring to? Almost to Falkner? Or... the gym boss, yeah. Yeah, see? That did way more damage to him than it should have, because, like I said, as long as he stays in the battle, and I don't change him out between, it just damage stack just grows. it's so ridiculous. I almost can't get over just how broken that mechanic is. But the more I play the Pokemon games, the more I realize that they are held together with hopes, dreams, and duct tape. And they are full of holes. That's it. Beat the gym leader. So Pokemon eggs were something else that was introduced in Gold and Silver. And they appear in every iteration of Pokemon since. They hatch based on number of steps, not time that's passed. So, and every Pokemon that's in an egg has a different number of steps that it takes to hatch said Pokemon. But they are not usable in battle until they are hatched. We're going to buy a few more things while I'm here. And then we're going to go do Bellsprout Tower, which is also here in town. We're going to get a few more potions. Yes. And we're going to get 2 more Pokeballs. And I'm done with Totodile for a little while. We're going to put Cyndaquil back in front. Yeah, these are like Bellsprout worshipping battle monks. And the only reason I'm doing, you don't have to do Bellsprout Tower at all. You can completely bypass Bellsprout Tower. The whole reason I'm doing Bellsprout Tower is for the experience for Cyndaquil. That's it. just to beef him up, to get him up to where, at least where Totodile is. So that when I go forward, he's not underpowered. That's all. But see, this is what I'm talking about. When people talk about, oh, Pokemon is just a kid's game. Pokemon is just for kids. There's strategy. There's a lot of things you gotta, if you really want to play quickly and not die a lot, get knocked out a lot, you gotta really think about, it teaches you to think about what you're doing and super effectives and type matchups and, Haunter 35 says, I hate this location to this day. Just because of the non-stop Bellsprout battles. Haunter 35 says, I really want to see an anatomy chart of a Bellsprout now. It's a sentient plant. I mean, it's no different than Oddish or Gloom, Vileplume, Weeping Bell, Victory Bell. They're just sentient plants. Which I think is kind of frightening. Feed me, Seymour. Little shop of horrors, little shop of horrors. Now I'm showing my age. As if the silver in my beard didn't do that already. Another mechanic that I like that they introduced here that they did not introduce until now is if you look in the upper left-hand corner beneath the Pokemon's name that you're battling, you will see a Pokeball. It tells you whether or not you've already caught that one. And since there are over 200 Pokemon in this game, it's easy to forget who you've caught, who you haven't. I mean, it was kind of hard. It was kind of easy to do that in the first generation too, but I mean, you played it enough, you got a feeling of who you had, who you didn't. But when you've got over 200 to deal with, and this game is effectively twice the size that Pokemon Blue is, Blue and Red are, you know, it's easy to, you know, lose track. See, if I took Totodile through here just now and I didn't take Cyndaquil instead, Totodile would already be evolved into Croconaw. He would gain enough levels, but I want to beef up Cyndaquil and get a Quilava. Finally gets a fire move. Or rather, an offensive fire move. Smokescreen is a fire move, but I wanted something that was offensive. Now, the next gym leader is normal type. And she's actually really hard. If we aren't evolved to the next stage by the time we go against her, we won't win. Because she has a Miltank, which is a newer Pokemon for this generation, that has a move called Rollout, which is one of the more powerful offensive moves in the game. And she has it on a relatively low-level Pokemon. I mean, it's your second gym leader, but she is tough. If we're not evolved by that point, we're in trouble. There we go. Perfect timing. Couldn't have planned that. I actually didn't plan that. Like, that could not have planned that better. And now we have Flash. So Flash in this is just like Flash in Gen 1. Pretty much useless inside of a cave if you know your way around. I don't. I don't want Chikorita to learn it, though. So I'll have to catch something between now and when I need it to use it. I guess worst case I could have Chikorita use it. I just would really rather not. Alright, let's head down and... If I can get a Hoot Hoot, that would be one that could learn it. But those don't come out until nighttime. And it's not... In game time, it's not dark enough yet. In fact, what time is it? Game time, 5:12. So game time, 48 minutes before it switches to dark. So it may not actually switch over to dark before my time tonight runs out. This is all stuff. If you are familiar with the missing no line of stuff, that's where that is. If I catch a Bellsprout, I think I can teach Bellsprout Flash. Hey, there we go. When I was looking for one earlier, I couldn't find one. I say his name, and suddenly he appears. Let's put in somebody weak enough to not kill it, so I can catch it. Haunter in the chat, asking you shall receive. That's like, if you ever wanted to get busy at work, just say, wow, it's been really slow today. Or if you ever wanted to pick up, you send somebody home early. Yeah. That's the law of, I forget what it, actually I think it has a name, but it's just, that's how you need it to be. Cool. I don't know if Bellsprout can learn Flash, but he's useful to have anyway. Let's go back up to the Pokemon Center. Paralyzed Cure Berry. Rattata might be able to learn Flash too, so let's put Pidgey away, and we'll take out Rattata just in case Rattata can learn it. Bellsprout can. Perfect. That's what I needed. Yeah, I'm gonna go deal with the unknowns later. That whole area with the unknown Pokemon. I'm going to deal with that later. Hop it. Why not? That'll probably knock it out. No? Perfect. Another mechanic I like that they introduced in Gold and Silver was having different packs inside of your backpack. So you have a pack for all of your Pokeballs. Does the lore ever say what HMs and TMs exactly are in the lore? No. Other than, for the first, I think, 6 generations of Pokemon, TMs only had one use. And then I think Gen 7, I believe, starting with Pokemon X and Y, and I'm sure somebody will correct me on that, they became unlimited use, so you didn't use up a TM when you taught it to a Pokemon. And later on, HMs become something that you can teach a move over top of. Or you can have erased, rather. Instead of it being a permanent thing to teach that you can't get rid of, later on you get the ability to have Pokemon unlearn it. In later generations. But I don't remember exactly where that starts, when that starts happening, but I believe it's Gen 7 when we see that TMs stop being single use. Now that Quilov has evolved, I'd still like to get him to about level 16 before he goes against Whitney. And I don't think I'm going to get there tonight, because I don't have that much longer on my stream. But there's plenty of this game to go around. Yeah. Yeah, the mill tank that Whitney has is a beast. It is gonna be trouble. But as long as I'm at least level 16, I should be fine. Yeah, so we just found out about something that's happening in the world we're in. Slowpoke tails. People are cutting off of the tails of Slowpoke, and yeah, they're a delicacy. And we're gonna find out who's behind it here in a minute. But it's kind of a stab at, and not wrongfully so necessarily, but it's a stab at some of the open sea fishermen that harvest shark fin and then throw the shark back in the water. Which, if it isn't dead at the time it goes back into the water, it dies shortly after because it can't swim without its dorsal fin. So this is one of those, I think, indirect, or rather maybe direct, nods to the poaching of shark fin that happens. Which, I grew up in a hunting community. I grew up in the Midwest, in Indiana. And hunting deer, hunting turkey, that was all very normal. And something that needed to be done for the area that we lived in. Right down to the point where you cannot legally hunt in national parks. But several national parks became so overrun with deer because nobody was hunting and nobody was thinning the population, that the deer were running out of food and they were running out of resources, and it was actually causing them to die off and causing disease to spread. So you have to thin out and cull an animal's population if it's in an area like that. So once a year, some of the national parks, for a while, I don't know if they still do this, I'm sure they do, because it's important that this happens. They would allow in a set number of hunters who were allowed to take out 1 deer apiece, and I believe usually just bucks. They wouldn't take out the does, and you cannot shoot a fawn. So, they would allow like 100 hunters or whatever to come in and take 1 deer apiece, and it would control the population so that the deer that were there could thrive and do well. So it's this kind of weird thing, but when it comes to like poaching or killing for sport, no. If you're going to kill something, you're going to take an animal's life, it had better be for resources. And a large part of that is I do have a Native American background, and I fully believe that if you are going to take an animal's life, then you owe it and to the respect of that animal to use it appropriately for its resources. So yeah, I mean, it was not uncommon growing up to have deer meat on the table for Thanksgiving, or, rabbit was another one that was popular. Rabbit's kind of gamey, though, unless you do it right. And it's no different than fishing, But harvesting sharks just to cut off their fins and throw them away, that's no. And I like shark meat. But again, it's caught with purpose and served as food. So there's my soapbox. But essentially that's what we have going on here. My Bellsprout would probably get demolished, but he does no Vine Whip, so I'm gonna see if he can take it up. So yeah, love deer and buffalo, but never rabbit. I have a pet rabbit, so I'm slightly biased against eating rabbit, but mostly it's a little different when it's not your pet and when it's for the purposes of food. But rabbit is very gamey to me. Buffalo is good. I like buffalo. I've had buffalo burgers. When I was in the Caribbean in 2002 was the first time I had shark. And it was blacktip shark, I believe. That was fresh caught there because they're in the Caribbean. That's what you get. You also got tiger sharks, nurse sharks. But yeah, they had this little hut on the beach with this very crude grill, and they would fresh catch shark and serve it to you. It's pretty good too. There's where I live in Florida now. I'm right in the bay. I'm about, without giving you my exact location, I'm about 40 minutes south of Tampa. But I live 3 miles from the beach. And there are tons of restaurants down here that have their own fishing charters and their own fishing boats. So if you like seafood, if you go to almost any one of a dozen restaurants out here by the beaches, it's caught by that restaurant and served by that restaurant. It's pretty cool. It's good food too. But the menus change regularly based on the season and what happens to be in, what happens to be out. Like you can't, like shark, for example, you can't get shark year round. They come and they go and through the bay. You don't always have snook or snapper or pick anything, grouper. It's all seasonal and timing of it. And if you go into northern Florida, you can hunt deer, but the deer down here they're leaner and smaller overall than the deer you get up in the Midwest. Because up in the Midwest, they're fed on corn and soy, and down here we just don't have the crops that they feed on that bulk them up. Same thing for cattle. Cows down here are a little leaner which is not a bad thing, but what's funny is when you see like brochures of Florida, they always show you like the coastal edge with the palm trees and the pretty beaches and everything. They never show you Central Florida, which is farmland, orange groves, and cattle country. Like all Central Florida looks like the Midwest. If they showed you that on a brochure, nobody would ever visit Florida. And since we're kind of a state that depends on tourism, it's a little important to make sure people come here. Alright guys, so I'm going to get out of this cave, and that will end, as soon as I'm out of this cave, that'll end my stream for tonight. I appreciate everybody that's come in throughout the night, both on the Pokemon Snap run that we did earlier. Sorry for the technical errors that I had there. Again, my computer decided to restart itself and install an update while I was doing that, so that was irritating. But we did get it back up, so if you did miss the ending part of that stream, you can go on to Retro Piece Theater on YouTube, you can go to Retro Piece Theater on Facebook, or you can go to GNN_gaming on Twitch and catch the end of that. Because it is up there. We did get it. And for everybody who's joining me on the Pokemon Gold stream, this is now the go-to game for the foreseeable future until I beat it. And then we'll move on from there. And by the time I finish this game, it's very real possibility that Pokemon Snap will be out or getting ready to come out. Ooh, Sandshrew. I like Sandshrew. He's adorable. Pokemon Snap will be getting ready to come out. It comes out April 30th. So I'm fairly certain I will still be playing this by then. So I may do a half and half stream, kind of like I did tonight, where I play the new Pokemon Snap game on its release, and then I do come back and we do some more of this. So yeah, come back and see me on Thursdays from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and come on Tuesdays from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. I am doing Xenogears on the PlayStation 1. And last week we had some amazing discussion, and we had a lot of fun. And this next week is going to be awesome. And it's a game I've never played before, where you see me playing these Pokemon games that I've played over and over and over and over and over. I've never played Xenogears before, so I'm learning all about it, and people are coming in the chat and giving me advice and playing around, and it's a good time. So be sure to come back on Tuesdays and subscribe to our GNN gaming channel. You're here. Subscribe. Use that Amazon Prime subscription to get one free subscription every month. And subscribe to us. Come see what we're doing. Come hang out with me. I love talking to people while I do this, because otherwise it's just me and my microphone. So please, come talk to me. And the other cool thing too is, depending on time and availability and what various things I have going on in my life, I may jump on at other times during the week. And if you subscribe to our channel, you'll see when all of us go live. You'll get a notification on your phone on the Twitch app that says, "Hey, GNN Gaming is live, and this is who's playing." So we've got Haunter35 who comes on and plays. We've got Wolf Angel who comes on and plays a couple times a week. Be sure to come and check out what everybody's doing. And once again, thanks for joining in. And go over to geeknewsnow.net for more Geek News Now and articles and cool stuff. And then go to our Facebook page, Geek News Now, because we have awesome contests happening. In fact, there is an amazing one happening right now, a video game themed contest over on our Geek News Now Facebook page. Go check it out. I'm incredibly jealous because I work for Geek News Now, and I can't win it because I work for them, and I want it. So go win it for me. And then tell me how awesome it is. Alright, so I'm going to save here. It's been fun, guys. I will see you next Tuesday for for Xenogears. Take care.